Hey, what's up guys? Mendel here. How are you? Hope you're all doing awesome. So it's Cubase Studio Week and Steinberg asked me to tell me something about my studio, gear that's important to me, etc. So as always, let's dig right in. Here we go. So the first thing that comes to mind if someone would ask me what's important in your studio, like gear-wise and stuff, as a guitar player, that would of course be my guitars, and especially this one. So this is my Lag Arcane Master Custom Series 3000. I'm not sure if Lag makes electric guitars anymore, but this is without a doubt the best guitar I've ever played. It has my favorite specs, so it's a mahogany body, quilted maple top, ebony fretboard and roasted maple neck. That combination is my definition of a good sounding guitar. But let's take a listen how it sounds. Here we go. So besides that guitar, this is a custom-made Carillon guitar from the UK, and it's my Zelda guitar because it has like a Zelda custom inlay. It's the same specs, so this is a mahogany body, this is a poplar maple top if I'm correct, ebony fretboard, roasted maple neck, this is a 9-piece neck, really awesome, and it also sounds phenomenal. Let's take a listen. Now, all my guitars have what are called Fishman Fluence pickups. And basically they're active pickups, but don't instantly think there's like the typical metal EMG or Blackout Duncan kind of thing. So the cool thing about these pickups is, and I could like talk an hour about these pickups, but basically the whole concept of pickups have been thought out differently from the ground up, and which results into something tonal wise that has never been able or never been done before, as far as I know. So with these pickups, with normal pickups you could do like a coil tap thing, but this, when I do this, it changes the complete sound of the pickup. So this is more like an active sound, like an EMG 85 or something. So these are the Devon Townsend pickups, but when I do this, it changes to a Telecaster sound, like fully. Or when I do the other one, it's like a real single coil pickup. And that's like, for me, that technology is one of the most amazing things, because that means that this guitar has a ton of different tonal options, which I couldn't do before. Normally I would have to change guitar, but now in the same guitar, I basically have 3 true different pickup sets. Let me show you. Now, a very important thing to me, as some of you may know, is efficiency in the studio. So for example, I always have my guitar cable plugged in into my interface, which is routed to my quad Cortex. So whenever I have an idea, I can just plug in my guitar and record the distorted signal or clean signal of the amp plus a DI signal, so I can always reamp. So I don't have to switch around cables. Everything is basically set and ready to go. Same thing for the efficiency in Cubase basically. I have different templates. I have a metal template which includes program drums whenever I have a client who has like program drums MIDI. I have a metal template for real drums, so I can have all my samples ready and all the filters are done in some of them. And some of them are other templates. It's like a clean template. I also have templates for scoring, so like film score, that kind of stuff. So I don't have to do all that boring work over and over and over again. So I save a lot of time by just having everything preset. So one of the most important things basically for any guitar player, I say, is the tone. So I used to use my Kemper a lot, and I still love my Kemper to death, but I recently purchased a thing called the Quad Cortex, which is basically this thing. So this is a touchscreen, and basically I can create my tones way faster than on the Kemper. And you might say, okay, Mendel, if you like efficiency, why don't you use plugins like amp sims and that kind of stuff? And sometimes I do, but the thing I love about real amps, like how you turn knobs on an amp, like the EQ section or presence, it reacts in a different way than most plugins. And the feel, most plugins don't have the feel there. Not all of them, some plugins do, but not all of them. And with this, I can go to the studio, like dial my favorite amp, like a Mark V Mesa Boogie, dial it perfectly how I want it, and then capture it, and then how that amp sounds with that EQ section and all those settings and that kind of stuff gets captured in here, and I can take it with me anywhere I want. And that's why I love things like these. And again, with efficiency in the studio, like when I plug in the guitar cable that's connected to my interface, it instantly routes to this. So I can just with a simple press have my favorite tone done, easy. So I talked about my favorite guitars, my Quad Cortex, which I use with the guitars and stuff, and of course by like the efficiency in Cubase and having templates. But to be honest, I think there's one thing that helped me so much in the studio, besides Cubase of course, that I could not live without in my studio, and that is my Wacom pen tablet. So I have some strains in my arm, so when I use a mouse and I have my wrist like this, it starts to hurt pretty much. And at a certain point I was panicking because I couldn't work with a mouse anymore. And then I tried a trackball, which, because I had to do my wrist like this, which is not really ergonomic, it's more ergonomic to have your hand like this, didn't work for me either. And then I remembered back in the day in 2014 when we recorded with a producer called Jacob Hansen, which is, I think he's my favorite producer of all time. Great mixes. He used a Wacom tablet in the studio. So I got my Wacom tablet and the pains went away, but one thing happened that I didn't expect, like ever basically. I got to work so much faster, like the speed easily plus 200%. This thing, like working with the pen tablet on my PC with Cubase, is absolutely stunning. Now, unfortunately, last Saturday there was a heavy rainfall and my studio was basically flooded and some stuff broke down. So also this tablet broke down, but I have a new one on the way. But luckily I shot some footage, which you see now. So the cool thing about it is, like, the pen has two buttons. And when I press this button, it's like the middle mouse button, which has a really cool function in Cubase. It basically makes you roam freely in Cubase. And this button is my right mouse click. So using both these buttons with the pen tablet and having these shortcuts button, which I programmed with certain difficult key combination in Cubase with the key command section, man, I would almost say just get yourself a tablet. It doesn't even matter which one, but the pen tablet, and try it out for 2 weeks, and I think I can guarantee you will prefer it over a mouse. But yeah, definitely could not live without my pen tablet together with Cubase. So to round up this video, like a couple of things. So first of all, a major thanks to all of you guys who are watching the videos I make for like the metal productions, and it's very, very heartwarming to see that people really enjoy them and of course learn from them. That's yeah, really cool to see. And then secondly, major thanks to Steinberg for making an awesome product called Cubase. I've been using Cubase, I think, for almost 20 years now, since SX3. Do you guys remember that? Cubase SX3? Man, what a time. I can honestly say that Cubase has made me not only a better producer, but a better musician in general. Because a lot of times when I had like an idea, like, okay, could Cubase do this? I always noticed that Cubase was miles ahead and thinking forward. So always when I had an idea, like maybe this is possible, it was always possible basically. Back in the day, like early, like 2002, 2003, I used Cubase to practice basically. So what I think is one of the best practice routines that you can have is some people like to just practice with the metronome, but I think it's way better to practice with a metronome and record it as well and then listen back to it. And record yourself a lot because then you can hear all the mistakes, find them, and then correct yourself. Like the best thing we can do in this day of age is record yourself and hear yourself back. Like 60 years ago, there was was a bigger hassle, I'd say. Not that I've experienced it, but seeing from the videos and the recording gear 50 years ago, yeah, I definitely think that these days is like the golden age. Like everyone can have a laptop, get Cubase, practice, record yourself, play along with different kind of stuff, listen it back, become a better musician. Yeah, so major thanks to Steinberg for the opportunity to make videos on the channel, and major thanks for making what is, in my opinion, the greatest DAW of all time, Cubase. So my name is Mendel, and see you next time. Cheers.